Oh god. But anyways,
Probably.
dang, I forgot what I was gonna talk about. Dang it, fuck. Oh yeah.
I got you.
Entropy with entropy. So technically, so if entropy was still in factor, if you just had like an infinite energy source at a certain like just amount of energy, like just like a flow of constant energy, then like that would just like entropy wouldn't
No
matter.
amount of energy is infinite.
I know, but
The
that
universe is not infinite.
I mean, if we're breaking rules, then I'm just gonna break the rule and say that I can make infinite energy. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay, yeah. But do one of those bullshit problems where it's like, okay, so you have to calculate this. Just ignore friction, ignore gravity, ignore the universe. Just calculate it.
Like,
Like
I hate
what?
those. Dude, it makes it easy, but at the same time, it's like, what the fuck is the point then? Like, what is the point? It's just
like,
not gonna be. It's just
yeah,
gonna be
like
wrong.
this isn't gonna work in real life. Why do I need to learn it?
Like, what's the point? I think what it's trying to do is it's trying to build building blocks and what you're supposed to calculate. But if it's just going to do that, why not just explain to us in full extent over a longer period of time so then we actually calculate things that make sense? Like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Like, I think, see, look, our problem is, and I look at this existentially, and the problem is we're looking at this when we're not, like, I'm not trying to be cringy or anything. We're just not, we don't really think like normal people. We're trying to look at this like how we would, and it doesn't make sense. Existentially is because we're not looking at this like normal people. You know what I mean? So like a normal person, they wouldn't be able to do that. I'm pretty sure. Like to be able to comprehend all of it over a longer period of time with all the information, they wouldn't be able to do that. That's the problem.
Honestly, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm looking at it philosophically now because I mean, one of my biggest things is philosophy, so I'm just looking at it like philosophically.
Yeah, I can tell.
And because existential IQ is one of the main things in philosophy, and I'm looking at it existentially. I'm like, well, we're not looking at it, and we're not like perceiving this like what the most average we can perceive this as. So it's not really making sense, obviously, you know. See, look, now it makes sense. Because like a normal person ain't gonna be able to do that. Dang, Damien, I have 1,110. I'm about to get to level 50. Writing. No, I'm about to land. I got it. I saved it. Ben, are you there, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just chilling.
I'm gonna drink real quick.
All right. We're not trying to keep you up or anything, Ben. I don't know. I'm just kind of.
I'm up of my own accord. Don't worry about that.
All right. I gotta stop. When should I stop at? I'm at 1,134.
You never stop. We keep going. We roll.
Nice. We'll keep on going. Keep on going. Even though I'm starting to fail. My fingers are starting not to work anymore, but I'm gonna keep on going. We got it.
Nah, that's pussy talk. We roll.
We roll. Come on. Push. Push.
Matter of fact, I think I'm about to work out after this.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell when you started speaking like that. I was like, yeah, that's kind of what you do when you work out. Push it. Push the baby out. Go.
What the fuck? Like, I mean, it is a workout to do that, but it's not a good one.
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, it does release happy chemicals, but like still.
It's like it works. It does work out muscles too. Like you might as well just be working out when you get birth. It's like.
That sounds so wrong.
But it's so true. Like you're basically working out. You're just working out.
Yeah, it's true, but I don't think that's.
That's not ethical.
You know,
I don't mean.
It's not ethical.
Yeah.
All right, girl. Today we're gonna work out. First, though, I gotta get you pregnant.
Yo,
but don't worry.
what?
In 9 months, you'll be very powerful.
Yeah, like that's some woke shit.
And
That's woke. That's what woke people are gonna say in 50 years. I swear, my life. Do you watch? There's this YouTuber I like watching. He's called Think Before You Sleep. It's this really good commentary YouTuber, and he talks about he kind of talks about the flaws of wokeism and kind of like the flaws of like the left wing kind of people, where like they more of care about their feelings and cater to feelings and kind of create delusion because they can't cope with reality and like the truth and facts. So they kind of like it's more of like they think their feelings.
Why do you always like every 5 seconds you just bring up psychology? But then randomly, like at like a 25% chance in one of those mentions, you just give me an existential crisis. Like, my guy, relax.
But like, with that stuff, with the left wing stuff, is like they care more about their feelings and like the truth and stuff, so they cope and stuff. So if you look up a YouTuber, like how you showed me that video of like computers and stuff, go to this YouTuber. His name is Think Before You Sleep. It's like literally, it's what the fuck's happening with the rings? Okay, I give up. Anyways, Think Before You Sleep is like a really good YouTuber for this. So his psychology, because I listened to him and watched him and stuff. It's all really good. Like, it's all really good. Like, there's really nothing wrong with it and everything. He's a very smart individual. You should really listen to him. It's actually, like, really good, you know?
Yo, speaking of smart and really smart individual, there's
Albert
this
Einstein.
kid I've watched. There's this little kid. He's basically, like, I say little kid, but, like, based on what he does, he might as well, like, okay. So, I haven't watched any of his videos because he posts like once every 3 centuries. But he is super young. Like he's still in like I think he's like sophomore in high school now.
Dang,
like he's
that's young.
like whatever one's right before senior. Whatever one's right before senior. But
Damien, don't burp.
yeah, he's like
Yo, how do you
super
have to
young. He
carve
has
in
5
To
videos.
babe.
His name is From Scratch. Oh,
I'm gonna look him
I'll
up.
send you-
I'll look him up. From scratch.
I'll send you the link.
I
can
said
send
I'd
you the
look him
link
up
to
on
his
my
channel.
computer real quick.
Oh yeah, it's just my computer doesn't work now for some reason. So I don't know what's wrong with
Oh,
that.
I wonder.
See, I'm looking him up on my computer.
No, but like it doesn't make sense because it was literally working like 20 hours before it just stopped. I don't understand. Like it doesn't make sense. It died, came back to life. So it cooled down to 8. So it cooled because I did that with the other thing. Never mind. So it cooled down significantly, which didn't even make any. Like, it did make sense, but it didn't make sense while I was working. And then it worked the entire time. I turned it off. Then it stopped working, and then it came back to life. And then I let the battery die, and then now it doesn't work again. Like what is going on? And it's a different thing flashing.
Ben, what was the channel
Yeah, that
again?
sounds like a skill issue. I'm not really gonna help you out there. Okay, let me explain just how fucking
Ben, what was
psychotically smart this kid is.
Ben, what was the
So-
channel?
He wanted to make a computer in Terraria, cause why the fuck not?
That sounds fun.
So he proceeds to code in everything he would need using the simplest pieces of things. And then he perfectly explains. He explains really well how a computer works. Like I already knew how, so it was pretty simple for me. But like even still, he explains it really well. Then he's like, fuck it, this is too laggy. So he decides to code in his own mod that revamps the entirety of Terraria's redstone
Holy
to
shit.
make it less laggy.
Bro.
Then he
Damn.
proceeds to make a 3D game
Bro, this guy's
inside
act-
of his
this guy's
computer.
actually really
He
famous.
codes a computer into Terraria, a 2D game. Then he makes a 3D game that he coded into his 2D game computer on his game
What
that
the
he
fuck?
added a mod to,
What
and
the
he made
fuck?
a 3D
Yeah.
game for his 2D
It's like
game
when
that he
the
already
people-
made a game in.
What the fuck, bro? Went 3 how many layers deep is that?
He made it was like 3 layers deep, and bro, it's like, and it's a 15-minute video. Like, what the fuck?
Look. Now I could never do that just because my logical IQ is like kind of average for mathematics. I could never do that. Now look,
Same. I could never make a computer, dude. Like, it is
Code.
so complex.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not trying to pronounce that.
but look, he could. What I bet he can never get to the philosophy stuff I do, and the full extent. My existential
Yeah,
IQ
this
is
is-
in the low 140s. My
We-
emotional
we
IQ.
get it.
Yeah.
That's
My
the dro-
emotional
that's his
IQ
name.
is
That's
like
the
130,
person's
so
name.
you can never. Oh, what?
He's Canadian. He's a Canadian engineering
Really
physics
preaching
student.
to the choir here, buddy.
A Canadian? Yeah, I can never do what he does.
Yeah, it's a Canadian.
Yeah, that's just ingenious. He's genius. You know what I mean?
I took control
Dude,
went solo.
he looks no older than like 16.
and built my own
And then he also
online night
knows like mechanical
empire.
engineering. Like, what the fuck?
I said
He's my
he's-
dope,
yeah.
dude.
He's a
Like
physics student.
he made his own AI algorithm, and
That's
he
great.
made it in real life
Bro said do it
with
himself.
pistons and
I
actuation
mean,
points.
do you see that
And then
dude's
he
name?
explains them,
Joe.
and then he used cameras, coded it, all for foosball because he was bored and didn't have anybody else to play with.
I play a lot of.
That's crazy.
First video
From
that pops
scratch,
up.
That's funny.
Not even.
And then he made chess
Chess
really
and-
cool
yeah.
as well.
I made chess 2.0, 2.6 million views.
Now, I have a philosophy. This is probably one of more of my complicated philosophy theories. It's completely theoretical because philosophy itself is more subjective. Now, there's an entire philosophy of what philosophy is. Now, that gets kind of complicated, so we're not going to do that. So, philosophy,
He's pulled out his
because
notebook, Ben.
philosophy, because it's a study, has to be objective in some sense because it is a subject. So of course it's a lot of subjective stuff, like, you know, all like the perception stuff. So this is one of my more complicated philosophy theories.
You want
I
me to
have to-
turn the camera on?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I calculated so I had to calculate infinities and stuff. It's like a whole diagram of what reality is, dependent on our understanding of dimensionality and mathematics, and it gets kind of complicated. I had to create new terms for things because it got so deep. This is just gonna be like a surface level explanation because it got so deep where like there wasn't definitions, there wasn't names for the things I was like describing, so I had to make my own names because like why not? Like I mean, if language can't convey it, then I just make my own words to describe it because I mean
That's what I do for D&D. Every layer, I just take up Latin words and I mix them together for the definitions I want, and then so I just make a word.
Alright.
Ben,
For
you also
all
did
the
that for
layers of my
the
campaign.
infinitum and Aussie generator and infinitum and Aussie power converter.
I was like,
if
Fluffy,
you
we
even remember
roll.
those from 6th grade.
So I actually wanted to see, like, whenever I describe this theory, this is probably my most complicated one in depth. To anybody my age, or really anybody, they just kind of stare at me like I'm fucking insane, or just don't understand whatsoever. And it kind of makes me feel disappointed because I kind of like spent a lot of time on this. I would say like I spent all night. So it's a whole thing. So it's like, oh my god.
Motherfucker, let me tell you how relatable that is. Any single member of my family will never hear me out because they're always like, I explain one of my scientific theories to them, and they're just like, okay, fucking nerd, and I'm like, motherfucker, I go,
It's so true, dude. That's so relatable, though. Like, actually, so relatable.
yeah, but you do like psychological philosophies. That makes I'm gonna like struggle to understand that. But,
Okay,
like, you can
so
understand.
I'm gonna.
I can understand it to an extent.
I'll simplify this a little bit. Actually, a lot.
Yeah.
So this is a completely theoretical of reality. How reality is structured and mapped out through our understanding of different theories. Like string theory holds 11 dimensions. Another theory I forgot holds like 22. So I'm just going off the mathematics. We know that there are 4 dimensions. We know that. We know that for a fact.
Yeah,
We know that for a fact. There's a particle actually in the universe. I forgot the particle's name, and it is 4-dimensional. And it's the only thing 4-dimensional in our universe, but it is 4-dimensional.
Tachyon?
Yeah, I think. I don't know the name at all, really.
So,
But I just know.
Tachyons travel faster than the speed of light, and they go through time as the main dimension.
Yeah, that's 4th dimension.
But they also go through all the other dimensions.
That's
as well,
4th
and it's a
dimensional.
theoretical particle.
That's 4th dimensional. Now.
Yeah, I know what 4th dimensional is, my guy.
Okay, I'm saying the particle is 4th dimensional, not your understanding. Anyways, a tesseract. A tesseract.
Oh. Yeah, Tesseract?
Yeah, aren't those proven to exist?
No clue. I don't think
I think they are. Wait, I think they are only. Yeah, I don't. Anyways, so I know there's like a particle that could actually exist that's 4th dimensional in our universe. So I went off the basis like we're pretty sure, if not we 100% know that the 4th dimension does exist. So I went off that because that's more realistic than string theory or something. So, what do you think? This is the first question because I already mapped everything. I already know what this looks like. But for you, what do you think the 0th dimension looks like? Like, what do you think a dimension that doesn't have a dimension looks like? Like, what do you think outside of all dimensions, because the first dimension is the first ring in my model, outside of that, what is the 0th dimension? What do you think, like, what do you think it is? Like, what
I think theoretically, if you were able to transport your conscious into the 0th dimension, because you could not physically enter it, I believe that you would essentially be trapped there because you could not perceive time. You could not perceive any of the 3-dimensional spaces.
well,
You pretty much it'll literally be like entering the void, and
yeah,
it'll
that's
be
right,
like
that's
pausing
right.
your game.
Yeah, that's right. The 0th dimension really just isn't a dimension. That's just a name for it because it goes in with the other ones. It doesn't really exist at all.
Your game just pauses if you enter it.
The 0th dimension, which is the outer thing of my model, is just out of existence. Like, you're just gone. Like, the 0th dimension, the out of reality is what I put as a slash. I put 0th dimension / out of reality because by that point, you're not really in anything. It's just kind of nothing. It's like absolute nothingness. You're not really in anything. Then we can go into a whole. Then we can go to a whole existential theory of, is everybody just a collective group of consciousnesses formulating our world around us because we exist in nothing and our brain can't perceive absolutely nothing, so we formulate things around us because our brain can't comprehend what absolute nothing is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
that makes
cool.
sense.
Cool, right?
Just like our game can't comprehend what the 4th dimension.
Yeah.
I said game. Our brain can't comprehend what the 4th dimension would look like.
My game, in a sexual sense, can't either. So okay, so we have the rings, and these rings, these are the outest part. So the outer part. So the first ring around reality is called the first dimension, obviously. The second one's the second. The third ring's the third dimension, and the fourth ring's the 4th dimension because they're the most proven dimensions. I'm not adding super theoretical string theory dimensions and bullshit.
Aww.
So between each gap in the rings is where the dimensions are, obviously. The rings act as, of course, a border. Look, a border. Look, hold on. It's a whole thing. But it's a border.
Are you showing me something? I haven't been looking this whole time.
See, look.
Yeah,
Oh,
I only just noticed it on the stream.
I haven't been looking this whole time.
So there's the dimensions. There's the dimensions. This is a crude model because I just wrote it. So you have the outer dimensions. 0 out, doesn't exist. You have your first dimension. This is like what the dimension is. The rings act as like the borders. Of course, each gap between the dimension is infinite because each dimension, the higher dimension you are, there's an infinite. Look, when you add another dimension, it's infinitely higher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's an infinite gap between it. You get your 4th dimension, and then we have some theoretical stuff here. Look, I don't look like a crackhead. All right.
You do. You definitely do.
No, the fuck
don't deny it.
No, the fuck I don't. All right.
Yes, you do. Don't deny it.
All right,
denying
bro, shut up. All right. I'm getting bullied. Anyways.
I'm not bullying you. I'm just stating facts.
That's not factual. That's your opinion. Okay.
Oh wait, that is kind of true.
Get some.
My opinion is fact.
it's
Haha,
silly.
max ego.
No, it's not a.
Wait, can you still see through the camera?
Yeah, I'm watching.
I want to see
This
myself.
This 1080, this 720p camera watching.
You can like put it aside. You can just like throw. You can like pull it. No, like pull. No, grab it. Grab it.
I mean, I can see the crackhead perfectly fine.
Bro,
okay?
stop calling me fucking crackhead. Hey,
I do it
you
because
like my
it's
journal?
entertaining to watch you get mad.
You like my journal?
Oh yeah, that actually looks pretty cool. Is it like Dungeons and Dragons?
Kind of, yeah. You could say so. So then you have your
Like, it
4th
looks
dimension.
like journal.
Yeah, so you have all the dimensional rings, right? And these are just like, I can't really map the shape of a dimension, obviously, because I don't know what the fuck it looks like. So I just use rings because a lot of celestial bodies look like rings. You know what I mean? So
Ellipses.
yeah, just going from what I've observed in the universe. This was the first model. These are the dimensional.
They're oval.
These are the
They don't
dimensional.
do rings. They do ovals.
Oh, shut up! All right. So
This is my field, buddy. Astronomy is like.
I did a lot of astronomy. Do you want to talk about fucking black holes now? No. All right. Well, we kind of did now. Anyways.
Yeah, that can be for fun.
All right. So the 4th dimension is the last dimension, but
Yeah.
information is information, and information had to have been created at one point, which against goes our conservation of energy law, but it had to be created at one point.
Conservation of information law.
Yeah, it had to be. Information can't just go into existence with nothing of cause, unless you do quantum fluctuations, but that's a whole different thing, and
Or unless there's a god.
Oh yeah, but
which would be pretty valid.
Well, simulation theory is the most likely theory, so you need to get out of here.
Yeah, that's true.
So, anyways,
there's different sides to the simulation theory.
Yeah, but it's a 50% chance. It's the most likely.
Yeah, it is the most likely. But then there's also the God part,
which is the second most likely. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely.
That's right now. It's 50%.
I know.
And then the third least unlikely is just we just popped in.
Oh yeah, that one is this. This is the map of this one. The God didn't sprinkle down sprinkles on you and make fucking information. Okay, anyways, so then you have the fourth dimension, and then past the fourth dimension, there's a gap. So you have the center of reality, and I call that like the eye. I don't know what else to call it, so I just called it the eye because it's easy to remember. So,
that goes hard.
I don't want to call it like the Lesfion seemed like some fucking chemistry name, like the fucking Joseph Cena the second.
I swear, fucking supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Like shut your like what? I can't remember that. Like come on. Anyways, so the gap between the fourth dimension, and then there's a void between that. So this void
is void infinite.
Larger than that. So calculating infinities like so. I calculated
0 plus 1 equals infinite.
Yes, very accurate. I did omegas and then realized like, oh well, omegas equal the same thing. So I had to do countable. So I did like the so I call this like I named this. What should the name? Oh yeah. Also I was like, don't worry about that.
That looks like you're a crackhead, dude. Like I don't know how else to say it.
Nah, it was crazy.
I
was doing infinite shapes. Those are pretty cool. They just span on infinitely.
The shapes that like go on forever.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. That's
because they contain themselves.
Yeah, that's what
I forgot what they were called.
I don't remember either. I was just doing.
There's like an official name that was like the name of a dude.
Let me pull this up.
Well, how I was calculating, how I even got this idea was I freaking started. So I got a ruler and I started doing like 1 inch plus half an inch this way, and then do this infinitely. Then do this side infinitely, and then I started branching them. So it'd be like up both sides, and then I started doing like rules, and I got cool different shapes, and you just looked up. They're called fractals. So I started making different fractals, and it was really fun. Then I realized, well, the universe dimensions are constructed they're constructed from infinite. Each dimension is infinite. So if you do a model, theoretically, each dimension it would just be like a fractal, right? Like each dimension is just like a different fractal. So obviously, I didn't add that to my model because I'm not drawing that because that is
so like when you take the fractal, which is like it infinitely contains itself. Each dimension is just
shape.
The second, like it's just one layer of conceivance.
Yeah. Yeah. That's you actually worded that pretty well. Yeah, that's it.
That makes sense.
So like I was drawing them like this one, which was some fractal shapes I was drawing. There we go. Pretty fun. Yeah. If you don't know what that is, you think I'm fucking insane. But when you know what it is,
you look like you're just drawing squiggles.
No, it's like I was going up like this way. And then, so
you look like a fucking crack addict, but I know you're not.
Bro, how? It's my hair. How is my hair's just curly? My hair's just curly.
No, it's not just your hair. It's the fact that you're drawing fucking squiggles.
Yeah, bro, it's fucking infinity, dude. It's infinity. My God.
I know what it is. I'm just saying, like, from an opinionative standpoint, get the fuck out of shot, Damien. I don't want to see you.
Did I just lose? Did I lose part of my journal?
Did you? Doesn't look like it.
Honestly, there have been times where I thought I was schizophrenic because I've just remembered something that was never real.
You're making me trip out. Stop. You're making the psychologist trip out, please.
It has happened to me so many times, and I genuinely think I might have some
paradoxes. Anyways,
I might have some level of schizophrenia.
Okay, well, look, I wrote this entire thing down. Please, my handwriting's horrible, and I write slow because there's no writing classes anymore. Why is there no writing classes in school?
Yeah, there's typing classes, but there's no writing classes. Like, what?
That's it.
motherfucker.
Exactly.
That's just when I was in
Literally, you're
elementary
representing
school,
the school
there's
system right now.
typing in middle, but nothing at height. But
No.
typing
bro,
was
what
for
you
a
doing?
year, and then it just shut down.
Hey, honey, what's 2 plus 2?
Fish.
It's 3.5.
Shut the
Like,
fuck
shut your
up.
stupid ass up. Like,
Fish.
okay, so it
2
says,
plus 2 is fish.
honey, if you had 3 fish and you gave 4 of them away, how much would you have?
21.
I didn't have any fucking fish. It's not -1, dumbass. It's not a fucking question.
I was about to say, I would have no fucking fish.
I hate those
Dumbass.
questions. And it's like, the answer is -1. How the fuck would I have -1 fish? Do I have banking with fish?
I would
I owe
owe
a
him
fish?
a fish. What the
What the
fuck?
fuck? Like, what? Okay, anyways.
We're loaning out fish.
Anyways, I said, well, according to my theory, the space between is the byproduct of the eye and abyss. So like the space between the dimensions was just a byproduct of how reality is structured and like how large reality is. It's just how it happens. Like
yeah, so,
it's just
so
there.
reality just decided it was gonna be like that.
That's
so
just how
why
it
it's
is. Like I
that.
can't explain something that's beyond existential. The definition of like I can't explain that.
So your theory just doesn't go that deep. Got it.
I can't explain that. That's not humanly possible. Okay.
Well, yeah, I know, but like there are layers to theories, like
Yeah.
where a theory would require another theory to support it fully.
Yeah.
Is
I have all of that here. I don't remember that much of it because I haven't done this in like 2 months. But this is everything written down. There
wow,
exists
2 months. I thought okay.
I'm gonna touch you. There exists a
Aw.
theoretical abyss past the layers of dimensions, possibly the eye as well, which is just whatever the center of the reality, the diagram, a realm beyond human comprehension. This abyss functioned as an experiment field, continuously formulating loops of life without regard for hierarchy or stature. So like the point of existence is to continuously create and formulate loops of life without the regard of hierarchy or stature, and the reason for that is just because it's like I'm still developing this theory. So I literally worked on this for like 20 hours. So I just started developing this theory. So yeah, thank you. However, it imposes strict limitations, preventing any inner life from going past its boundaries and its domain. So it's just like inner life that's in the dimensions. What the fuck's happening on my screen?
I don't know.
What was that?
I'm ignoring your
That's some
screen.
sort of white.
So
dragon.
any type of like beings, and there's gonna be a whole void between the last dimension and the eye and everything that prevents that. There's a cause for it, but for now, inner life in any of the dimensions cannot go to the eye, bro. Please, cannot go to the eye.
Playing.
I'm paying attention. I got you.
It cannot go into the eye. This impairment restricts most organisms from comprehending existence, yet humans with this cognition can grasp his ideology. And basically it's like, well, humans have a good, intelligent enough consciousness to be able to at least theorize anything about that, anything about reality and stuff, because we're smart, because humans are smart, obviously. Okay.
Some of them.
Well, some of them. Yeah, thank you. This abyss does not merely exist, it holds everything together, matter, energy, and the very fabric of existence. In essence, it appears as an observed void, a paradoxical space where nothingness itself, otherwise to unknown property, itself gives rise to unknown properties that shape our world. So basically it's like existence, and it made everything, and it's like holds everything together, matter, energy, and the very fabric of existence, and it's a paradoxical space, and it gives rise to unknown properties that shape our world, kind of like existence, what it is. Upon realizing that this I might be infinite dimensional structure, as I have no way of describing a point possibly beyond dimensionality, because it's existence. I don't know how else to describe it. I can't describe something beyond dimension, so I just say it's beyond it, because I don't know, I can't describe that. It's not humanly possible. It's a fundamental endpoint that connects the starting loops of existence. To explore this realm, a new set of hyperprobabilities, which I call them, which you call X-sides, because now I have to make fucking terms for this shit, because none of this exists. Much to be considered. And then it says here, freaking these pages are so thick. X-sides exist beyond conventional physical laws, transcending any known property, They manifest based on the balance between convergent and divergent power fields. Do you know anything about that? Anything about convergent and divergent power fields? Do you know anything about those? Like, at all? Those are real scientific things. Do you know anything about them? Is that a no? That's a no. I'm assuming that's a no. Okay.
I don't know what you're saying.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm just kind of confused. Like, I get where you're trying to get at, kind of.
It's kind of hard to understand.
I lost track of.
Okay. Anyways, I'm just describing the function of it. It says a new set of it's called X-sides. X-sides must be considered, and this is the term I use. X-sides exist beyond conventional physical laws, transcending any known properties. They manifest based on the balance between convergent and divergent power fields. Do you know what convergent and divergent power fields are?
Power fields that are convergent and divergent.
Oh shit. You look that up. Okay, generating energy while eliminating unnecessary waste. So this idea challenges traditional physics, including the energy conservation rules, because that doesn't the energy conservation rule kind of says you can't do that. But yet, like, well, information had to come from somewhere, so like that entire thing is flawed. Just like how I researched about gravity and I realized like Isaac Newton's original gravity formulas and stuff, like, they don't kind of work when you do like certain astronomy things. When you do quantum stuff, they just kind of don't work. So we kind of need to update them, but we've used them for so long where they're kind of hard to update now. You know what I mean? Kind of like the same thing.
Especially because dumbass people will be like, the government is doing it on purpose.
But like, why the fuck are we gonna use? Why are we using like formulas from when was Isaac Newton? When was that? I don't know my history though.
I think it was like 1600s, dude. He was
Why-
really old.
Let me.
Why are we using formulas that are like 600 years old? Like, why? Like, it's not working. It's never going to work.
I added the vine boom.
1700s.
It's like, why are we using formulas that are like 500 years old? Obviously, those are outdated. Like, 100%. That's stupid. That's the dumbest thing ever.
Oh no,
because-
Bo was born 1643.
So there's another term I call it. These are like easy to term. Sounds like video games, so people can understand them because I like video games. So fuck off. All right. Anyways, so including energy conservation rule, and if I go to my next page here, so basically, voidal dimensions are dimensions that exist beyond infinity. They're uncountable. They're uncountably infinitely large dimensions, which means they have either infinite amount of different dimensions, or the gap between them and whatever space is between that is uncountably infinite. So that's what I call them voidal dimensions, because that is the definition of them. And I'm not saying the definition every single time I explain this, so just call them voidal dimensions. That's all I'm saying. Operate outside. So because voidal dimensions operate outside the construct of ordinary countable infinity, unlike ordinary dimensions that align with mathematical infinities, voidal dimensions exist beyond measurable constructs. The only observable entities that interact with them. And I made a whole theory about black holes. So you know how like black holes have the information paradox whole thing? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, like how it seems like they delete information, but they don't.
Well, we don't know if they do or not.
Yeah, well, my personal theory is they just store it because that's what the singularity does. It just holds it there.
You need to leave!
So,
I added another sound effect.
I didn't even know
I
that
don't
was
know
a
why I
sound,
keep
that
adding
was
sound
button on the
effects.
soundboard.
You need to leave!
alright, so anyways,
I'm gonna
solves...
play that you need to leave every time you say something freaky.
Alright, anyways, so this kind of solves the whole information paradox of black holes. It gives a viable thing that of course the theory isn't viable, obviously, it's just a theory, but it does kind of give some answers to certain things. So I said, so black holes, because why not? Now this is more theoretical than the theory, so this is like a kind of a more theoretical thing than the theory. It goes deep, it's in layers. It's like onions. And onions have layers.
And no guys.
And your mother. Black holes might behave as bridges between the countable universe based on and because of their information. Okay, thank you. I just write random squigglies there. Because based on the information paradox surrounding them, their existence, the exact roles remain uncertain. So like they can bridge gaps between the countable universe and the uncountable universe, which is the center of reality and the void we're going to talk about in a little bit. And the information goes there, so the information goes in the singularity. And because it's a singularity with unknown properties, that doesn't really go with our physics, because a singularity doesn't have infinite density. That's just that would destroy the entire universe. Obviously, it doesn't have infinite density. So the information goes to these uncountable these uncountable dimensions or universes, however you want to say it. And so it gets to this point. Yeah, there you go. So the X-side's range of alteration and interaction of information, at least, so I was doing a diagram here. I can't really show you because it's kind of really small, but it was just showing like how far the information can react from the X-side range, which again, the X-side range, it gets into this whole thing. So you have our dimensions, the dimensional rings, because I can't diagram fucking, what were they called? Fractals?
Fractals.
Yes.
Fractals. I can't write fucking fractals. Like that's...
Because it repeats infinitely.
I can't do that. And I'm not...
Yeah, obviously.
And obviously, I don't know what...
You need to leave.
I don't know what the fuck the fourth dimensional fractal looks like, so I can't write that down.
I don't think anybody knows what it looks like.
I say you couldn't.
Oh, thank you for crashing for no reason. Thank you.
I say you couldn't.
You're
You couldn't really do it. You couldn't really write it down anyways because you can't really
Fuck.
write down things that
So,
travel through time.
There's an isolates void, and the isolates void, because again, it's an easy to remember name. Actually, this one took me a little bit to remember. It's fine. Just call it the Should we make a new name for it?
I said, do you have a name for it?
Isolates void.
The fourth dimensional fractal? Or
It's
what?
beyond
What
the
are we
fourth.
talking
It's
about?
beyond the fourth dimension. So when you go
Omnidimensional fractal.
ooh, we could label them fractals. Anyways, this is literally just the start of the theory. So I have the first dimension, the second dimension, the third dimension. There's infinite gaps between them, which includes a dimension. Between each gap, the dimension exists. Obviously, it wouldn't just be lines. So yeah, dimension. You have your fourth dimension, and then between the fourth dimension and the eye, you have a gap between that. It's called the isolates void. It's uncountable infinity, or you can call it a voidal dimension, like I said, which is uncountable. And so isolates void is a voidal dimension, and the reason for the voidal dimension and the isolates void is to prevent outer life from reaching it. So if theory of God exists, or any being that can go through dimension, or just a fourth dimensional being, like a fourth dimensional mortal, but like if we're fourth dimensional, obviously, well, then there's nothing between the center of reality and the fourth dimension, meaning like the fourth dimensional beings would have the power to alter all of reality and basically just do whatever the fuck they want to. Obviously, it didn't happen. So, unless you believe in God and all that, then that kind of goes into that. And like God, then in this context, would then just be a random mortal being from the fourth dimension that decided to fuck with the third dimension a little bit. But the whole God is different. So the isolated void purpose is to prevent outer life from the fourth dimension or any other dimensional being that can travel between them, which probably doesn't exist, so just the fourth dimension, from ever reaching the center of reality or anything like that. And it's constructed like this on purpose, obviously, because it works. If it works, it has to be constructed in a way for it to work. So, so the X-side range is unknown. The X-side range is, well, the convergent divergent power field, how far it can branch, how far it can go out, that can disperse information. I'll literally describe to you what it is. The X-side range of alteration, interaction of information, at least, though black holes are possibly an exception. The size is unknown. It could be more dimensions, and I put all my notes right here. Basically, the X-side is the range of alteration and how it can disperse information and how far that can go out. So from the center, which is where it kind of creates and destroys information and stuff like that, and when it how far that can go out from, and the isolated void, the end of it to the center of reality, because you have the center and then the isolated void and then dimensions. So like right here in the center, here that kind of borders it, so the information that's destroying or creating can't go out of that, because if it went out of that, it would probably destroy all of reality. We don't want information from the eye of fucking reality to decide to come out to any of the dimensions. That would probably fuck everything up, and it would probably,
That makes sense.
it wouldn't destroy everything. I don't know what would happen. Hopeful to God, it's not like strange matter from like a neutron star or something, and it just consumes our entire universe. Hopefully, it's not strange matter or something. It would destroy our entire universe. So that's not good, right?
I'm gonna let you
And then I
finish
have
up and then.
then I have the updated model, which looks pretty fun. It looks like a Roman Colosseum. It looks pretty cool. So you have the isolated void, which is the voidal dimension, is right here, and this is the fourth dimension. This is the fourth dimensional ring. This is the isolated void. It gaps it, so then nothing can go through there. Then you have the eye. This is the abyss. This is the eye. This is the center of reality right here. Pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. And you have the zeroth dimension, or just outer reality. It's first, second, third, fourth, isolated void between, center of reality. Pretty simple. The point in the center is the eye. I have fuck, I hate my handwriting. I've improved this model. The eye is wait, hold on. The eye is the blah 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 and nothing else. The eye is the eye and nothing else. There's nothing more to it. It's just the center of reality. That's all I was describing it. It's just, there's no like, it's not like there's no dimensions in the eye. There's no like, it creates, destroys information. It's the center of reality. It can create and fabricate and destroy things based on.
It does whatever the fuck it wants.
It's what reality is. So we can't comprehend that because it's impossible. So it improved to be shown as point of the origin. So I just improved the model. The first ring is the ring is the abyss, which I summarized already. The second ring is the isolated void. So the first ring, this is where the first ring in the center right there, that's where the abyss is, or the eye. There we go. That's where the eye is, the first ring. Just make sure you're not getting confused with this ring. Make sure, bro, stop. So make sure you're not getting confused with this ring. It's the first ring is this ring right here. It's the void. It's the
I could get in trouble for making love to a minor.
I couldn't. So it's the first ring right here. This just make sure you're not getting confused. Make sure you're not getting confused because it's a little confusing. And not the isolated void ring. The first ring is this one in the center.
A little confusing.
Hey Ben.
The first ring is the ring is the boundary of the abyss, like the center, the eye, like the inner reality. That's the first ring that contains the center of reality. I summarize. The second ring is the isolated void. The squigglies are the result of excite fluctuation as their energy creation and destruction is dispersed. Some of the excite energy escapes and or is expelled. So the information and the energy that is created or destroyed kind of fucks around with like the boundary of the isolated void a little bit. I just wrote it as squigglies. The isolated void. Oh yeah, it says. The excite energies escape and or is expelled. Excites travel through the isolated void if they do escape and are destroyed promptly because we don't want them to go to the dimensions. That's the point of the isolated void. It's there just in case, and is there as part of the structure and foundation of reality, so the reality doesn't fuck itself over and everything gets destroyed. So it's kind of very important. And it says the isolated void are destroyed in the process and cause creating disturbances, which is why the little squigglies are there. The third ring is the fourth dimension. In between is the gap between that. So there's a gap between the fourth dimension and the isolated void, kind of where it starts. All other rings are the other dimensions and are labeled. The zeroth dimension is out of known reality. You can't really, the zeroth dimension can't exist, so it's just kind of out of reality. So that's my theory so far. It's a really I was gonna write a book about it and like make a game about it or something. Because it's just a really fascinating like theory and model of like what the universe or what reality could be, and it's like this whole like thing, but it's like I had to do like that's all my math down there. But it's like a whole thing. I summarized it real quick, and it still takes like 30 minutes to summarize it. If I wanted to get in depth in it would take a really long time, and I don't have the mental energy at 2 a.m, so can't really.
Oh, it's already 3? It's 3 in the morning now.
Oh,
But like you kind of get it a little bit now. I would have to more be in person with somebody to really understand it, but you can like it's the rings, the dimensions, and the isolated void, and then like the center and everything. It's a whole thing, but that's kind of like the break summarization of it. You can kind of like read it a little bit. Let's see. Oh, this is full of shit, dude. This entire note. Look how thick this notebook is.
So once you finish, I'm gonna bring up something that I thought of.
Okay. Just hold your thought. Please don't forget your thought. Repeat the thought in your head a million times.
If I have to, I will write it down in my note thing. I can do that just in case.
So yeah, I'll read it again. This functions as an experimental field. So you got to remember the center of reality. The point of the reality is to create. Oh yeah, I was about to say fluctuation, quantum fluctuations could have an effect on it. But so to summarize everything down, so before my ADHD brain thinks of other things and I forget. The center, the abyss, is where reality kind of starts and is potent, and it's kind of where reality did this, like reality, you know, kind of created itself. And in there, information is created and destroyed, and that's how information became information in the first place, because you cannot get nothing from nothing. You cannot get something from nothing. So information was created or destroyed there, right? And it's also the center of reality is a voidal dimension. It's uncountably infinitely large. It's incomprehensible. That's the best way I can describe it. It's an uncountable infinitely large field. Kind of forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something you know. Just keep what I said in your brain. A bit. The point of reality is it functions as a field continuously formulating loops of life without regard or hierarchy of stature. The point of reality was to formulate loops of life to that is the point of reality. The point of life is to formulate other life. That is literally the point of it. The point of it, continuously fabricating loops of life without regard or hierarchy for statute. However, it imposes strict limitations with isolated void. The isolated void function is also a voidal dimension, uncountably infinitely large. It is the next thing. So we're starting